Well, the news broke about 45 minutes ago, maybe 50 minutes ago. Shams on ESPN.com with a story, and as a tweet out. The tweet, two-time NBA Most Valuable Player, Giannis Antetokounmpo, has not made any firm decisions, comma, but for the first time in his career, comma, he is open-minded about whether his best fit is remaining in Milwaukee or playing elsewhere, league sources told ESPN. Now, if you speak NBA, what this means is I want out. The Bucks want me out. You 29 GMs are on notice. If you didn't already know, which I think most of them did already know. Actually, I would bet that all of them already knew. But it finally goes public, and it's the morning of the draft lottery. There was no point in making this a story earlier because obviously the Bucks need to rebuild. It has run its course, first with the Chris Middleton injury, now with the Damian Lillard injury that's going to side them all next year. The Bucks have no path forward to building a championship contender. They are a first or second round team at best for the rest of Giannis's prime. There just doesn't look like there's any way forward. No one can see a path. They went all in on the Lillard move. They're out of assets with an aging team. The Bucks want to rebuild. Giannis wants to win championships. It is time. It's not personal. It's strictly business. It's straight out of The Godfather. He loves Milwaukee. He loves the people. Fans, don't get your feelings hurt. It's okay to be disappointed. This does change things. It does. It's disappointing. It's the end of an era. It's over. And so you can feel a certain amount of sadness for that. But what's that saying? Don't cry because it's over. Cry because it happened or something, right? Isn't that like something you see on the wall at the therapist's office?
Don't cry because it happened. Yeah.
No. Don't cry because it's over. Cry because it happened. That's the thing. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. It's a refrigerator magnet. You see it, whatever. Good times, man. They won a championship. There's no way forward. Now, who has a good enough team that Giannis wants to go there? And I think Giannis has some control here because at 30 years old, he is going to be in his prime for 3 more years, maybe 4 or 5.
All right. Often attributed to Dr. Seuss.
Oh, is it Dr. Seuss?
The direct quote is, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened.
Oh, all right, fine. There it is. Okay, so now moving forward, because we're not talking to Bucks fans here. That's the message for Bucks fans. For the rest of the league, how long do you think his window is? I'm sure it's 2 years. I think it's probably 3 or 4. It might be 5. If he's Steph Curry at 37 or LeBron at 40, how good is he then? You can't worry about that now. He is signed for 3 years. How many assets do you want to give up to get him? Because there's 2 ways this goes. 1, Giannis says, I will sign with you. 2, he won't. Now, the Bucks, that's the amount of leverage he's got. The Bucks want the most back. Who's got the most? Oklahoma City. There it is. Let's just say it. They've got the most. But do they want him? They may be out to win a championship and think, why would we break it up and make ourselves older? We're sitting on a dynasty. We don't need anybody in their 30s. We're winning with guys in their early 20s. So maybe Oklahoma City sits this out. I don't know what their mindset is. Maybe they come up short here. Maybe they lose to Denver here in the second round, right? So there is time for a lot of info to play out. I think Houston, I think San Antonio is going to be mentioned in all of this. And those are the young teams that could be good pretty quickly. How many assets do they give up? Now, their older teams are like their championship window is now. I don't think they have as many assets. You know, who are the Lakers going to trade? And people are going to talk about the Warriors. Are the Bucks going to get enough back? Can Giannis scare everybody else away saying, I'm not going to sign with you? And where do the Jazz fit in this? I think the Jazz are in worse shape than Houston and Oklahoma City and Denver. I think they're in better shape than Phoenix, LA, and Golden State. The Warriors are intriguing because Giannis might really want to go there. I just don't know that without getting a third team involved, the Bucks get enough back. But maybe they get a third team involved, so Golden State's a gray area. I can't figure that one out. So try to handicap this. And of course, it's 2025. So if you want to handicap it, there are odds available. You just search Giannis trade odds, and they pop up. And there are places where the Warriors and the Rockets are neck and neck as the favorites. And Oklahoma City doesn't even appear, which stuns me because of all the assets they have. And, man, if they come up small down the stretch here and lose the series in 6 games, I could see them being motivated. I could also see them winning the title and thinking, we're not breaking this up. And the other thing, in addition to how you perform for here, because most of the teams that I think are going to trade for them are pretty much done performing. The Warriors are clearly in serious trouble. The problem with the Jazz is they're too far away. Now, can they create a trade package that, for Giannis, that doesn't include Markkanen, that doesn't include Kessler, that does not include Cooper Flagg if they get him? And then the championship window could be open and you could have an elite team. You'd have a tremendous amount of size and athletic ability, right? Would Milwaukee take that deal? Would Giannis want to sign an extension here? Because I think there are some teams that don't care if Giannis signs an extension and quite frankly might not want him to because they're so at the end of their rope. But the Jazz, they want to. This is what they've said multiple times, so I think they're serious about it. Listen to what people say multiple times. We want to open a championship window. We want to keep it open for a while. If the Jazz trade for Giannis, yeah, they might open a championship window, but I don't know that they're going to have the assets left to keep it open for a while. So I'm not going to put the Jazz in the top tier of trades here. I just don't see it. Houston, Oklahoma City, San Antonio. Some people have said the Nets. Not sure what the Nets have to offer. But you got to do some of these teams like the Warriors, you got to think, okay, can you make a 3-team deal happen? And somehow it makes sense.
The Nets are one of those teams with the Michael Bridges traded. They actually have assets.
They do.
But to your point, does he want to go to Brooklyn? Does
he think they're close enough to winning?
Sure, and that's what he's looking for.
There's an argument. I keep listing Western teams. There's an argument for him staying in the East, that the path to the championship is closer there. You know, depending on how harsh you want to be, the West has either 7 of the top 9 teams in the NBA or 7 of the top 10 or 11. It gets to be a judgment call there at the end. And that's dismissing Memphis as an elite team. And then the other 7 are pretty clear in the West. So I get if he wants to stay in the East, and I'm sitting here listing teams in the West. If he's going to the East, the Nets. I mean, the Heat want to rebuild, but do they have enough assets? Does he want to go there? Are they close enough? Now, never rule out some kind of Danny Ainge type rebuild it on the fly like he did in Boston. Boston was sitting there and you're thinking, Boston, what do they have? You know, I mean, they got one pretty good player. They got a draft pick they thought was going to be higher, and somehow they get the number 5 pick instead of number 1, and it sounds like a disappointment. And they flip it on its here. They bring in 2 really good players, and bingo, instant championship contender. All right, there's the fresh news. Giannis. And we'll know more tonight because then we'll know who's drafting number 1 and getting Cooper Flagg. We'll know who's drafting number 2 and who could put Harper in a deal. I don't feel like it's the automatic lock that Flagg is, but I am at like 99.9% it's going to be Harper number 2. And then at 3, 4, and 5, well, what else have you got what else can you put in the package at that point? But Giannis, first big name on the move. And then we'll see whatever Phoenix is going to do. I've already heard Dallas mentioned too. Does Dallas have enough to get him? I mean, with Irving and his health situation and AD and his health, if I were Giannis, I might not be interested in that.
I'd steer clear.
Right. And Giannis has some say here as far as his willingness to sign an extension.
Correct.
He can exert some leverage. There are some teams that I think won't care so much about that. All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. There have been other developments in the NBA, and there'll be another one tonight. Classic movie lines. Clint Eastwood, do you feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? We'll get to that next. Stay with us.